you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout, I'm telling you why. Because I'm about to review a movie. Better Watch Out is the first holiday-themed film that I saw this year. It's about a babysitter that has to take care of a young child when intruders start showing up at the house. They have no way to call 911 or the parents or anything. They're kind of just stuck there. And the movie goes on from there. You might be thinking, along with me, that this sounds a lot like Home Alone, just with a babysitter. You'd be right in a way, but that's really only the tip of the iceberg. There are layers upon layers upon layers of unknown elements that you can't see coming. It's just twists and turns and twists and turns and twists and turns. So it's actually hard to discuss the plot without revealing very key elements. First, we're going to talk about the people category. Acting-wise, it's a horror and comedy. You don't really expect much from that. You don't really get much, too. It's just typical when it comes down to acting and nothing too fancy. 1 out of 2 possible stars. The characters. Honestly, I don't think you'll really remember much about the characters in this film. There is maybe one character that you'll remember in the long run, but pretty much everybody is forgettable. I give that 1 out of 2 possible stars. Casting. Honestly, I don't know. The people in there were fine. There was maybe one really good actor for the part. Even so, I think every cast member could have been recast with a different actor. 1 out of 2 possible stars. Importance. How does everybody individually add to the plot? They all kind of blend together, honestly. Whenever I see a movie with more pawns than kings and queens, I have to say importance is pretty low here. 1 out of 2 possible stars. Chemistry. A part of the film has something to do with the lack of chemistry, even though they never actually focus on that possibility. Instead, they try to focus fake chemistry into it, which didn't really hit anything for me. I don't really notice anything that felt real here. So I will have to say 1 out of 2 possible stars for that. People gets 5. Writing now. First we have the dialogue, and there's nothing that really sticks out for dialogue. No quotes, no speeches, no general way that people talk that stands out here. Just normal talk. 1 out of 2 possible stars. Is it a balanced film? To be honest, part of the twists and turns that this film offers is that you have no idea where they're headed with anything. Because of that, I have to give it 1 out of 2 possible stars. The story itself. There's nothing meaningful, there's nothing deep, spiritual when it comes down to the Christmas theme. Nothing like that. Story gets 1 out of 2 possible stars. How about originality? Well, like I said, it was actually hard to understand where it was going half the time, which actually helps the originality, because I can't really say I've seen a movie like this, which makes me happy because I honestly thought it was going to be a ripoff of Home Alone, which it's not. So 2 out of 2 possible stars for originality. How about interesting? The trailers themselves kind of made the film feel not only fun, but twisted in a way that's just alluring. And when you actually watch the movie, it is exactly that and more. So for interesting, I have to say 2 out of 2 possible stars. Next up, we're looking at behind the scenes BTS. For visuals, I can't really say that there's much to take notice here. When it came down to Christmas themes, you have lights, you have Christmas tree and decorations and everything, which is what you typically would expect for a Christmas film. For, say, violence, the idea of violence was there, not the actual visualization for 90% of the time, which if you're a fan of the original Halloween movie, you might like that because that's exactly what Halloween did. It was just the idea that violence was happening, and you kind of get the idea of what was done, but nothing more. You don't see anything in this movie. It's just, it is what it is. It could have been better in that regards, but it just wasn't. As far as visuals goes, it's pretty typical. 1 out of 2 possible stars. How about the directing? For the directing, I gotta say that he did a pretty good job telling this story, regardless of the fact that the story itself was meaningless. So the director did a good job of following the story and continually stepping up his game for each scene, and a lot of movies can't do that, and I have to give it to the director specifically for that. 2 out of 2 possible stars. Editing, nothing fancy, nothing over the top, nothing that catches my eye. Pretty typical editing job all around, 1 out of 2 possible stars. How about the advertisement? Well, like I said, the advertisements or the trailers, all of that is in the movie. It's no false advertising there. It's only the tip of the iceberg, so it doesn't show you everything, like trailers really shouldn't do that anyways. So actually, this was a smart trailer because it got you in the mood to watch it. The feel that the trailer gives you is constant throughout the movie, so 2 out of 2 possible stars for advertising. How about the music? Christmas music. That's all I can really say about that. Nothing fancy there. 1 out of 2 possible stars. Now we move on to the narrative arc score. The introduction was fine. You kind of get a good idea of who the boy is, who the babysitter is, who the best friend is, who the babysitter's exes are, and how they all fit into what's going on in the movie. So as far as that goes, 2 out of 2 possible stars. Inciting incident is when the intrusions start happening at the house. For sure, 2 out of 2 possible stars. The obstacles, this is where I can't really tell you too much about what's going on because there's so many obstacles, but the obstacles that you see in the trailer definitely happen. They're only in the very beginning though. There's lots of obstacles to go throughout the film, so 2 out of 2 possible stars. Climax, culmination of things, perfectly fine, 2 out of 2 possible stars. How about the following action? Does it just end right there? Does it calm down? Does it calm down and bring a new norm for all the characters? It calms down, sort of, but it leaves it open for interpretation, which works for some movies. But in this case, you didn't need it to leave it open for the audience. So as far as that goes, 1 out of 2 possible stars. How entertaining was it? Well, like I was saying before, some of the technical aspects of the movie don't really hit the best notes, but it is an entertaining movie. I'm positive that being fun was what they wanted to do in the first place. So as far as rewatchability goes, absolutely, I would not mind watching this again because it is really fun and it sucks you in. So as far as those scores go, rewatchability, fun, and sucking the audience in all get 2 out of 2 possible stars. So that's 6 stars. However, I don't think I would care to buy it. It's not one of those movies where it's like, hey, look at my shelf of movies. I also have Better Watch Out. I don't think it's one of those, so I'll say 0 out of 2 possible stars. Do I have an impulse to talk about it beyond this review? Yes, because this review isn't really talking about the deeper level. All I'm really talking about is the tip of the iceberg, because that's all I can do without spoiling you on the rest of the movie. Yeah, there's a lot more to talk about, but at the same time, it's not a movie that blew me away where I had to run to somebody and tell them to watch it right now. If they don't watch it, then they don't watch it. I'll just say 1 out of 2 possible stars for that. Specialty category. Here's the things I want to know. First of all, it is a horror, a comedy, a thriller, it is a Christmas movie, and I also want to know how halfway decent it is. First of all, horror. Do I consider this really a horror movie? No, not really. I understand that there are aspects in the film that you sometimes see in other horror movies, but I don't consider it a horror film. 5 out of 10 possible stars there. As for being a comedy, do I consider it really funny? Not necessarily. I do consider it fun, just a good time watching it. I don't think I was really laughing alongside it, though. So it's kind of in between, so 5 out of 10 possible stars. Thriller. That's the main thing that this is. It is a thrilling movie, and it just never stops being that. So 10 out of 10 possible stars for that. A Christmas movie. How does that work? Not that well, to be completely honest. It doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. Just because you have decorations and holiday music playing doesn't actually make it a Christmas movie. The actual plot had nothing to do with Christmas. It had to do with babysitting. So I'm going to have to say 5 out of 10 possible stars for that. Halfway decent? Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it. It's a good time at the movies. 10 out of 10 possible stars. So if we add all that up, we get 70 out of 100 possible stars. 70%. Tell me what you thought about Better Watch Out, guys. And as always, follow me on Twitter and track.tv at username IAMDWG. That's IMDWG. And as for YouTube, always remember, subscribe to me, hit that like button, and hit that bell to be notified when I come out with my next movie review. Tomorrow I will be reviewing the original Flatliners film starring Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon, Julia Roberts, and a lot of other famous people that actually are in the film. So I'll be reviewing that in anticipation of seeing the most recent Flatliners movie that came out this year, So look out for those reviews coming this week. But until then, guys, peace out.